doesn't want to come here.
Okay, we are once again live here at the fourth stop of the GoPro IBA World Tour, the Itacoatiara Pro, presented by Pride as well as Net and Kimona Surf Shop. My name is Eric Apple. I am your host with the most here for the IBA World Tour, joined by two-time world champion, the man from Kauai, Jeff Hubbard, and we are looking at another champion in the water, and that is none other than the forefather of Brazilian bodyboarding, Guilherme Tamega.
Yeah, it was awesome. Last night, actually, I watched a contest where he was in a juniors contest in '88. But here, we'll talk about that next. Lucas Nogueira, big backflip. He knows he has to go big in this heat, and does he pull it off? No. So him and Tamega both don't have it start. Tamega has a 4.5, and Lucas has a 1.83 to start off the heat.
Again, Guilherme Tamega, Lucas Nogueira, and Heliton Lodiero, and all Brasileiro heat right here. And like we talked about, Lucas Nogueira is one of those guys that came all the way through the trials. I believe he was the trials winner.
Yeah, you're right.
And those guys had to surf 8 times in the trials. They had 5 rounds and then quarter semis finals.
It was a mission. Trials is a mission, and especially
Heliton, this barrel. And we see some good waves here recently, right?
Did you see him try and roll out of that, Eric? He didn't make it, but he tried at the very end just to throw a roll. And we were talking that Heliton's one of those guys that has been surfing really well lately as for a Brazilian. And even though he's unknown, he's a pretty powerhouse. And that's what makes this heat so exciting. You know, someone might look at it and not know, oh, Heliton and Lucas, oh, Guilherme's good. But no, these guys are all good.
Well, I mean, for Lucas Nogueira to make it through 8 heats in the trials that's saying something. As we see a replay right now of Heliton Lodiero on this left-hander, like you said, drove in the barrel and then tried to roll out of it. Look at it.
That's sick. That was cool. So, yeah, I mean, I've seen Lucas, for the last, 4 or 5 years surfing on tour, and he's got some skills. Every once in a while, he'll bust out and just blow people's minds.
And he just reappeared and bust out through that roof of that barrel. It was pretty funny.
That was really funny. That was pretty cool. But actually, so I was getting back on TV. There's this TV called Woohoo, and it has all sports every night, bodyboarding, surfing. And last night they showed a clip of some junior contest back in '88 or '82, where Guilherme was a junior competitor, and he's maybe 12, and he's out there doing the same spins and rolls you see him doing now, the exact same style, and he's just ripping. And it was pretty cool to see. Wow, the board was 10 times bigger than he was. It's one of those old Mach 7s, and he was like a little kid.
Big 10-inch wide nose.
Yeah, but he's used to it, and he was ripping on it. Really fun.
So again, a 3-man heat. The winners of this heat, first and second, are going to move on to the 4th round, and after that, the quarterfinals. If you get 3rd place in this heat, you're going home with 800 points for the GSS Tour at $800 US. So not so bad, but these guys definitely want to make it through and move on. This is the first elimination heat of the GSS event, correct?
Yeah, this is the first. Yeah, round 2 is elimination, round 3 is elimination. The only non-elimination heat is the round 1. And then everything else is elimination after that. And round 4 is going to be man-on-man. And we got some cool heats coming up with that, Eric.
Yeah, now last year I'm told it was in red, Guilherme Tamega, ARS there in the shore break. He's got some pretty intense colored fins, I just noticed.
Yeah, he's got those duck feet, and they're
red
wild.
tips or pink tips.
Yeah, they're black and red. They're wild.
Now I was saying, before you guys had a second repicharge.
We did.
In the years past, correct?
Well, it was strange. In the last 3 years, we've had 3 different formats, but I reckon we finally nailed down the best format for both the promoters, the viewers, and the riders, and it's the format we're using right now. Instead of going to a repicharge, instead of going to a expression session kind of round in round 4, it just goes straight to man-on-man, and which gives you a lot more fair progression. The riders go straight to the quarterfinals if they win this next heat, all of them, or they go home with a 9th place.
That's right. Okay, so again, we are going to throw it down to a beach interview, world champion Isabella Sosa. Well, wait a second. Let's watch these sets coming in real quick. We got some pretty big sets coming through, Hubbard. I was going to throw it to commercial, but Isabella can wait. Let's take a look at these peaks. It looks like Lucas Nogueira and Heliton Lodiero could be in position. This is Lucas Nogueira, our trials winner.
Yeah, he's bottom turning in. What's he going to do? Oh, a little late, but nice roll. See if he holds on. It's heavy.
Oh.
It's heavy out there, Eric. These guys are getting, it's like a shore break. So if they don't, you got to hold on with all your might.
And a score coming through for Guillermo Tamega, 4.88 to add to his 4.5. He's getting a commanding lead at the moment, but things are going to change with the 23 minutes still left to go. And let's go ahead and throw it down there to Isabella Sosa with our heat winner.
Hey guys, I have with me Dave Winchester, the winner of the last heat. Man, you did like 8 points, so sick.
Yeah, I was pretty happy. I saw Jared get that first good ride and do a big flip and so kind of get a 7. So I was like, that's going to be the zone. I was watching the heats before, and it always seemed like there was 2 waves in the set. So if there's sort of one good ride, there should be another one kind of a bit deeper. So just paddled across and got a nice one.
And then you has like the best scores of the heat, but has like pretty hard heat. Hey, everybody was like doing good scores.
Yeah, I knew that after those first 2 ones, good waves that came through and the high scores, I knew it was going to be a pretty high-scoring heat. And then I saw Dudu get that really good left, and I just knew that I had to kind of back it up. So I just wanted to try and get another 8, and it happened. So I'm pretty happy.
And did you see the new Riptide?
Yeah, I was pretty stoked to get the new Riptide cover. So thanks, boys. Looks good.
Yeah, do you want to say something to home?
Yeah, hi to my girls. You're probably sleeping, but I love and miss you, and I'll see you soon.
Yeah, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Sick. Back with you guys.
Well, thank you so much for that. Down there with Winnie, who had really high-scoring heat. And like you guys said, I think one of the highest-scoring heats today at 2.8, so total of 17. And that's got to be right up there because I know we had some of the riders with like a 9 and a 6. So pretty close, but might be the highest-scoring heat of the day. And this is Heliatin Lodieto on the left, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, he bottom turns on a beautiful wave, and look, he goes right to the lip. Really, really smart. Flies him out. Huge ARS, and just doesn't land it. I mean,
Very unfortunate for him to come unglued because, I mean, we've seen guys hold on through a lot tougher sections than that.
Totally, and that would have been like an 8 or 9. That was, I mean, it was that big. It would have been a big
pretty
score, you know,
He
on a
got
set
pitched
wave.
out, projected out in front of the wave, and to me,
On
and
a
I
set
think
wave.
the judges like they want to see guys get projected out in front of the wave, correct? To the flats.
They do, totally. And so that's, I think, because he took off on the set on a big wave, the judges had all their attention, and he drove the bottom turn straight into the lip. I think they would have really liked that, but unfortunately, he came unstuck, so it gets a 1 or 2.
Yeah, so we do want to mention that everyone watch it here live at IBAWorldTour.com or from our Facebook, which you better be liking our page. Make sure you like the IBA World Tour page on Facebook. But we have 2 different streams. We have a 240 and a 480, so 2 different qualities that you guys can upload, and we're stoked to be able to provide you a better quality webcast when we can and when conditions permit. You know, we travel all over the world, and it's up to the local promoter to provide us with web access as well as power and all that stuff. So when we can possibly do it, we do it. The IBA is bringing you the best possible products that they can. But like we said, we travel to remote places all over the world, and sometimes it's very hard to work with the conditions we're in. But that's what we have to do to get the best waves, and this is GT on the left.
Oh, that was cool. Do you see him like put his head down?
Yeah.
He bottom turn, put his head down, and then like looked up, and with all and pulled off the bottom with all his strength. Still wasn't enough to get through that section.
Some sets coming through, and one thing I want to mention, Jeff, and I think you being one of the veterans and you're a former world champion, or you're a world champion, someone who has a lot to say as far as the judging and the organization of the sport. You know, I had Craig Haddon in here for a heat today for the first time I ever had a judge talk with me, and it's funny because I feel like I'm pretty familiar with the scoring. I mean, I've been around the sport for a long time, and there's been changes here and there, but not too much. But I was very surprised to find out today, and I'm not asking you specifically any question like because it's you in the booth with me, but I was very surprised to find out that style is not a part of the current judging criteria.
Yeah, it's not really
It's not what?
Yeah, it's not really a part of the criteria. I mean, I think since everyone has their own style, so the judges can't really use style as part of the criteria, so to speak. But I think, you know, how it looks, the aesthetics will definitely come into play in how the score comes down. So they can't really put it in there, you know, in the wording that the style is it. But of course it comes in their mind like that was a pretty wave, that was a pretty move.
Yeah.
And it looks clean, it looks beautiful. That's going to get a higher score than something that looked kind of erratic and ugly.
And I'm just trying to express, you know, what the legitimate bodyboard fan might be thinking, because, you know, I assumed that was part of the judging criteria, and for me, it confuses me, you know, because, and then I was told, well, hey, you know, that's a subjective thing, that's somebody's opinion, and I was like, well, that's what judging is. Judging is someone's opinion. That's a definition of the word. You're judging someone off of what you think, and style it falls into that category for me. And And when I see a guy like, did you see any Dallas Singer's waves, his last team?
Mm-hmm.
Dallas Singer rides the barrel really good. And he has good style in the barrel. He has like that posture, where guys put their chest up and pick their head up and they're driving. There's no spray coming off the board, just a clean barrel and good style and posture.
Yep.
To me, that should be scored maybe, 0.2 of a point higher than a guy who was on the same wave but is splashing and water coming off his elbow and an ugly crab style. Let's say I'm not ugly crab style. I'm just an ugly style with water spraying everywhere and stuff. But if style's not a part of the criteria, then how do you separate those two?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like a quandary. It's like what comes first, the chicken or the egg? You can't. You're judging style in there, and all of a sudden, everyone, if you want to, you don't know how to judge the definition of style. I mean, what is the best, way to say who has the best style? Because once you start saying, okay, who has the best style, it would kind of skew things toward a certain rider, and they would always be you'd always be benchmarking everything against them.
Yeah.
Which, isn't a bad thing. I'm just saying it would create more of a rift and might make things not nearly as interesting in the sport because we have so many different characters and styles. That's what's so cool. But Guilherme Tamega.
On the left, Guilherme Tamega, multi-time world champion, driving in the barrel, looking good. Doesn't push out to the wide one. I'm very surprised.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but yet I know how difficult those waves are. You saw when it kind of pinched, there was like a full rib current coming through and like a little rib in the barrel that would have stopped him cold. And even how strong and buffalo that guy is, it's hard for him to push through those little chops when it collapses the roof on the wave on you.
So again, a real quick view of the landscape of this three-man heat. GT in the lead, Eliatin Loriero in second, Lucas Nogueira in third. He is our trialist that made it through. He came with 9 total trialists making it through to the GSS event. And we see some lines coming in out the back and back to the conversation that me and Jeff are having on. But it's like you said, we see it look like a good wave down there on the left where Lucas is. Look at that left coming in down there. I was going to say that it seems like two sides of a coin because anything you judge is about the style. It has to be. I mean, all wave riding, any sport like this is about style. The style of your roll, the area, how high was it? That's part of the style, I think. And how composed was the rider to see GT pulling in a closeout barrel on the left. So I guess it's kind of a whole nother ball of wax. It's like opening up Pandora's box, I guess, if you put the word style in the writing and the judging criteria. But, let's be honest. Whether it's in the writing or not, they're judging on style.
Of course.
Maybe they're not officially saying they are, but you have to judge on style. There's no choice.
No, there isn't a choice. And I think that's, it's in the judges' minds. It's in the forefront of the sport. And they're doing a really good job of it lately, of defining what a good move is and whether it has a good flow and style, so to speak, to it. Whether or not they have that word in the criteria, it doesn't matter. These guys, the judges know what they're doing and know what they're looking for. That's the thing. They know what they're looking for when they see a move and what a good move looks like. And beautiful day, man. I know you just had a break. You probably got to go out and get some fluids, rehydrate. It's nice and hot here. It's a beautiful day in Brazil. It's just, look at no wind here. Boats out on the horizon.
Yeah, that's a big boat out there right there. And then we see a lot of oil tankers coming in out of Brazil. And
Petrobras.
For those of you who don't know, Brazil is one of the largest oil exporters in the world.
Yeah, Petrobras are huge. It's a national company, so it's owned by the government.
Government, yes.
And so you just see these, they have Petrobras tanker 552. These things are just staggered all outside of Rio, everywhere you go. And what also is really, really cool is you drive down and you'll see through Rio and you'll see these huge, I guess you'd call them containers of what people ship goods in.
Yep.
And the containers are everywhere because so much goods come in and out of Brazil.
Well, it is the world's 5th largest economy now.
Exactly.
Brazil is growing for sure and doing well economically.
And Rio's their biggest port, I would imagine.
Yes, it is.
So,
it is because Sao Paulo is a bigger city, but it's not near the water.
Yeah, so this is amazing. And I've actually seen some houses now retrofitted with these containers.
Yeah, there's one here on the beach. It's pretty insane,
It's really cool looking.
GT on the right. Look at that. Nice clean style of the barrel rolling through the lip, and that's just a vintage Guilherme Tamega, isn't it?
Yeah, he's just trying to get into the fives. These guys are, no one in this heat has scored over 5, and last heat was just booming. Guys are ripping, killing it, and in this heat, it's slower. It's interesting how the ebb and flow of the day goes on, and the judges have to be aware of it. We'll see 13 minutes. If anyone gets a pretty decent wave now, they're going to get a big score.
Yeah, for sure.
And so Guillermo gets a little barrel, just a head dip and roll out. You know, it's
He
just.
gets a 5.03 on that wave.
So he broke into the 5. See that what I was talking about? That wasn't even his best wave, but I think they're just like, hey, nothing's happening. We're getting bored here. You know, the judges have to start to increase these scores. They know that not much is going on. But Lucas, I mean, look at Lucas. He's so talented. Won the trials, and he hasn't even broken into the 2s. He's gotten 2 incomplete rides, and he's only caught 2 waves in.
It's a difficult heat for sure to get the waves. And let's talk about the conditions here at Itacoatiara. I mean, these conditions aren't like we had last year. It's more challenging so far in the competition.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big. We have waves. I mean, you look at this wave coming in. It's a nice peak. It's clean. It's pretty, but
GT.
Here we go. This could break the heat wide open.
This could be a bomber. Look at this big roll right there in the critical section.
Yeah.
Coming out clean as could be. Very nice, very controlled roll, I must add.
Set wave off the bottom, nice big roll. That's going to be the best score of the heat and really going to solidify his position in making this heat, and he's going to be really happy. But I think what we were saying earlier is like the waves here, when they come in, if they catch the right shape and into a nice peak, they're really fun and pretty and beautiful and awesome. But if not, they're just straight closeouts.
Driving GT, a lot of speed, getting up there, leaning far forward, turning that roll, perfect timing. He did a lot with that wave.
He did, he sure did. He got a 6.13, really well rewarded for it.
So look, GT steadily getting, whoa, roll right there for blue. GT steadily getting better and better, 5.03 and a 6.13. Those are his 2 highest scoring waves, his 2 most recent waves. And you can see that rip going from right to left right there, headed to the north.
Yeah, you got to stay out of the rip, that's for sure out here. And so Helleton just got his second wave. We saw that. We'll see a replay of it here. Bouncing in the foam and comes up nice.
This is his third wave.
Yeah, third wave. Yeah, it's going to be his best wave, ARS. And so that's
4.8 right there for Helleton. So that's keeping him in second place. He
That's
is
huge.
ahead of Lucas Noguera, our trialist, but looking for Lucas to get a wave here. Only 2 waves, both in the very small range.
And so Lucas now realizes he's sitting in the wrong spot. I mean, he's been sitting down there all heat. His strategy seemed to be that he's going to wait for those lefts that break on the left side of the beach, but they didn't come in this heat. And that's something that happens with strategy, Eric. If your strategy, you pick a strategy before a heat and you stick with it, and if it doesn't work, you got to change up really quick.
For sure. 10 minutes, 50 seconds ago here in the last heat of round number 3. Remember, the loser of this heat is done. He's going home with $800 and 800 points for the GSS Tour. First and second place move on to round 4, and that will be man-on-man action, which is my favorite.
Yeah. And look at the heats. I mean, we've got some stacked heats, Eric. Pretty cool.
Yeah, let's talk about it. We have Ian Campbell coming up our first heat after this against Magno Passos, South African versus the Brazilian. Ian's really done well riding the barrel here this event.
Yeah, from the trials.
After that, a lot of French going on in the water with Pierre-Louis Costes and Amaury Laverne, both former world champions. Nicholas Bastos and Sasha Specker after that. Ben player Eder Luciano, David Hubbard versus Dallas Singer. I'm sorry, Jeff Hubbard. Your brother's not here.
Yeah.
Uri Valadao and Alain Munoz will be in the heat after that. So, and I'm happy to see Alain Munoz doing so well here as we see a couple riders paddling. This is yellow, Lucas Noguera from the trials.
That was the wave he was waiting for. Kenny, wow, Eric, wow.
That was intense. And that was critical, that wave.
Yeah.
In more ways than one. It was critical, number one, because of the wave and how thick that lip was and where he was. It was also critical because he has less than 10 minutes to go and he only has a 1.6 and a 1.68.
Yeah. That was the best wave of the heat now. Now that'll be, I think should be better than Glamorous Rolls, a bigger wave, and he got more air. He aired out a little bit, and he landed pretty clean in the beginning. He popped right out, and then it swallowed him, and then he popped up on the beach. So he showed control.
Yeah, we'll give you that score as it comes through. And here's the replay. The Brasileiro, bottom turning, beautiful wave.
Thick lip, like the wedge.
That was thick. Big explosion for the whitewater, showing you absolutely how intense the beach break is here at Itacoatiara. And he gets a 7.75.
Nice, that was huge. Puts him in second place. That was a big score. And I wonder what he was saying right there. I wonder if it was a poha or something like that when he lifted his hand up. Interesting. Wish we had them all mic'd up in this heat. The Brazilian flaring.
We should get those
Portuguese.
those like little satellite mics that like point. They use like for the NFL, and they can hear the quarterbacks and the players talking to each other.
Yeah.
Isn't that, you ever watch like the NFL mic'd up stuff where the players talk to each other? They say some pretty funny stuff.
Like real out of character stuff that you wouldn't really think that they're going to be talking
Yeah,
about.
like sometimes they're like super nice and just chatty with the guy in the team. And other times they're talking smack. It's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah, I enjoy it. Enjoy my NFL. It's pretty entertaining.
When you played high school sports, I know you wrestled in high school. Did you ever talk to your opponent? Ever say anything?
On the mat?
Yeah.
No, you didn't talk on the mat at all when you're wrestling. It was just.
Is there a rule against it?
No,
You know,
no rule against it. If you're just so focused, this depends on people.
In MMA, there's actually a rule against it. You're not supposed to talk. But I've had pretty interesting conversations. Both when I played football in high school, I was All-American in high school and played a real big league where in Orange County with some of the best teams in the country.
Oh yeah.
And I would talk on the football field, and I would smack talk. And,
I'm sure you would.
I never really smack talk during a fight, but I've had some pretty interesting conversations where one guy I was in full mount on him was yellow, Lucas Nogueira. Look at this barrel coming out with a spit on that little one. He's gonna find another maneuver, I hope.
Oh, if he can roll off, he's gonna go to first place. That was the second best wave of the heat almost. That was another 5. That's it. You know, he needed that, and he's gonna really help his cause.
I
here.
think the judges are scoring each heat relative to the conditions. This is gonna be better than a 5, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you're right. I think you're
Other
absolutely
heats
right.
would only be a 5, but we haven't seen many good waves.
Yeah, look at it, Eric. I think you're absolutely right. Pretty deep.
I hate to correct you, buddy.
No, you're right on. Spit out. Clean roll.
6.25.
Good call, Eric. And
So
straight to first. And
Well,
so,
and it's after I spoke to the judges quite a bit yesterday, and I spoke to the judges today, whether I had it in here, and I learned a lot about the judging criteria. And like I said, I learned that style's not a part of it, and I also learned that we are going to be scoring relative to the waves at heat. So I was told don't compare a 6 in this heat to a 6 in the last heat, because the waves are different every heat.
that's really good to
See
know.
in blue, Ellington Lodiero.
Oh my gosh, set wave. What's he gonna do, Eric?
Look at this, a lot of speed,
Oh my
big
gosh.
invert.
It looked like he broke his back.
Big
Oh, yeah,
impact right there,
man,
not able to ride out of it.
unfortunately.
And Ellington in last place, he needs a 6.36, and if he would have held on to it, that would have been it.
Definitely, it would have totally been it. He flew and tweaked it really hard, and he just came down too hard. He didn't flow with the lip. He was real erratic, and so
Yeah.
that's why the lip pushed him down and almost broke him. I mean, look at this
Good-sized
wave.
A lot of green, open face, bottom turning, and this was pretty intense.
Wow, perfect approach. A little late, but oh my gosh, this just got exploded. Look, Laramie on a big bomb. He's gonna get a sick pit here. I'm wondering, spit out. What's he gonna do? So that's gonna help Laramie because he might battle back and go back to first. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That was a good wave by Laramie.
So, wow, I mean, Ellington really missed an opportunity there because the ocean gave him the tools that he needed to get the score to move on to round number 4 in the man-on-man competition. And here he is, a replay of Guillermo Tamega. He's been a world champion many times, and this is why. Look at
Big
that.
roll, and he rolls again on the beach. But does he make that? Probably. Maybe not. No, he doesn't make that. That's going to be a good
So
score.
a 7 coming through on that wave, 6.25 in the last wave for Lucas Nogueira. So pretty interesting to see our trials winner beating a multi-time world champion,
Yeah.
Guillermo Tamega, and the third Brazilian back there in third place down there. He needs an 8.33. He's getting into a pretty tough position with 4 minutes, 45 seconds to go. And we just want to let you guys know that we've had over 300 people just like our Facebook page in the last 5 minutes since we mentioned it last time. And I want to say thanks to Brazil and everyone around the world who's listening for your support. Make sure that you like our page on Facebook. Don't just watch our live feed.
Yeah.
Those likes help us help support the sport and help the IBA with their sponsors and other support as well. And also, if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed to that channel. Don't just check it out. Subscribe to it. As we see, Ellington Lodiero, he needs a big score, Jeff. Look at this.
Oh my gosh. If he comes out, oh my gosh.
You got to be kidding me.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Can he hold on though? That was
He
his,
does.
and the claim.
That's an 8.3 if I've ever seen one right there. I don't know.
In the clutch, Eric, I would say. When you
Man, that 100% of the clutch.
that was the best wave of the heat.
It's the best wave in a while. Now, how do those compare? Now, I know we're not comparing heat to heat.
Yeah.
How are those compared to Winchester's waves?
Well, Winchester's wave, Winchester's first right was better, but this is almost as good
green
as
face.
big barrel. I mean, that's a decent sized pit for today. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
spit out with the speed, and then look at this clean big roll extended.
Through the roof.
Yeah, couldn't have asked for a better
He's
better way for
pumped.
him. And so it's going to be, we should see things change up
Now-
dramatically here.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's the best wave of the heat. So it has to score over a 7.75. It's much better than Guilherme's wave. And like I said, the judges taught me that they score relative for each heat. So they go relative off the first wave of each 9.25.
Oh my gosh, he goes to first. He goes to first
And
place.
GT's in last.
Oh my gosh, this is heavy. GT needs a 7:01 with 3 minutes remaining.
He already has 1.7.
You know what's crazy, Eric, is that Helleton, if you think about it, he's had the 3 best waves of the heat. He hasn't landed 2 of them. His 2, you know, that huge first 2 waves. He had the huge RS, and then the second one, that big invert. Those are still the best waves of the heat. He just didn't. If he'd landed those, he would have been comboing the field.
Guilherme is paddling. You see him on the right in that red jersey. Man, and could we see an upset? Guilherme Tamega, multi-time world champion. How many world champions? 6?
6 times, and he's
6-time world champion, I believe.
And he was runner-up last year in this contest. So he was second place in the first inaugural Itacoatiara Pro.
What an upset it would be to see him go down. And man, he also had some troubles in Antofagasta. So to see him go down 2 contests in a row, and he made it, I believe, to the quarters in Arica, as we see a
Yep, he
replay of
did.
another one.
Beautiful line by Helleton. Beautiful surfing.
That looks
And,
like Hawaii to me,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
totally did. Oh,
GT
here it
on this
is.
right,
He's going to
looking for a
answer
7.
back.
Not going to be it on that roll. He has 1 minute and 55 seconds. He needs to duck out of that one. Get back out, find a set wave.
That might have been, you know what? Maybe he knew it wasn't going to be the score and just didn't try. He just was like, I need to get close. I don't need to ride it to the beach. I need to be out there. So we'll see what happens here. Now Lucas will have priority, and now Lucas we'll wonder if he's going to paddle over to try and stop Guilherme from advancing here. 1 minute and 30 seconds
Lucas
left.
is pretty far away over there.
He is.
Right?
He's really far. He doesn't seem to be paddling too hard, so anything can happen. We know how talented Guilherme is.
Now, tell me about the rule with the rider's priority. Is the rider who's in the lead allowed to paddle as hard as he can and just run over there and sit on him, or he can only do that on one wave?
He only can try that once. So he can get over there, but if Guilherme moves away, he can't follow him.
GT, look at this. 1 minute, 10 seconds ago. Oh, flip.
This is it. This is going to be the score, by the way.
You think he's going to get over a 7?
Yeah.
Look at his claim.
Yeah.
GT claimed it.
Yeah. That was it. That was an amazing display of
I
competitive
don't know about a
bodyboarding.
7. That's a pretty small wave.
You're right. But you know, comparing this heat, I think they're going to look back and try and give that the score because of what the other scores have been. You know, it's a
That's
beautiful
a pretty
back
good flip, though.
Exactly, it was a great flip and nice roll. Watch this roll here. Just typical Guilherme roll on the beach, hand up, claiming.
His little the little subliminal push for the judges.
Yeah, he's gonna get it. I reckon he's gonna get the score.
I love it. I
and
love
we'll see.
it.
And reckon if 20 seconds left. No, he didn't. No, that was a wave.
5 point. No, that was it.
You're right, Eric. Gosh, you're
I
on
didn't
it
think
today.
it was enough.
You knew it. They're not gonna give him the buff.
Oh, can you believe it? 6-time world champion, the forefather of Brazilian bodyboarding, Guilherme Tamega, is going down here in round number 3 of the Itacoatiara Pro, presented by Pride Bodyboards, as well as Net and Kimona Surf Shop. Eric Apple, joined, of course, by 2-time world champion Jeff Hubbard. Dave Hubbard's not here. I don't know why I said that earlier.
It's okay.
I must have
He's
been
here in
looking
spirit.
At, I don't know. We were talking about him earlier, so it was on my mind. But amazing action nonetheless.
That was cool.
Elliott and Loyera with a 9.25.
Yeah. What an amazing heat. And we knew this was going to be how slow did it start? It started slow. Crickets, the last 10 minutes, fireworks.
Ones, fours.
Look.
Man, and GT was in the lead for so long and lost it in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Very unfortunate for Guilherme Tamega, but fortunate for Elliott and Loyera and Lucas Nogueira, who are both. Man, those guys came through the trials and are still surfing.
And they both got sucked over and just beat to death on that last wave.
That's a lot of work for those guys, for sure.
Congratulations to them. I mean, that's really proud of those guys. They're surfing so good, and impressive victory for Lucas. He's stoked. I mean, anytime these guys, they're beating their idols here. They're beating their idol, Guilherme Tamega. These guys have looked up to them their entire life, and they're winning. And now, first man-on-man heat.
For sure. Okay, so we are going to throw it to a commercial, I believe. We are going to let you know who is making this event possible. Making sure you support the companies that support our sport. So we're going to send you off to commercial. When we come back, we'll have our first man-on-man heat, round number 4 here at the 4th stop of the GoPro IBA World Tour. We'll see you in a minute.